Let's head back to the voicemail of Truth and Reason.
Hey, Dave, Frank from Cleveland. Couple things for you today. Just say they did get rid of Barry and Stefanski. You think John Dorsey and Jon Gruden can coexist? That would be a good tandem if they got along. And number two, now that he handed the play calling over to, I forget the kid's name, but anyway, Dylan was Stefanski's project over there. Let Reese make Sanders his project. Let's see him get on the field and let him call the plays. Seems like he's been coaching him up a lot. Give me your thoughts, brother. You and the family be safe, be good, and I'll be in touch.
As always, appreciate all of the voicemails. Fred, I don't know about the John Dorsey and Jon Gruden thing. The other thing that I would say is they're so analytics based. Neither of those two guys would come into something like the Browns organization. So you might need to get rid of Paul DePodesta in order to get a quote unquote football guy, and I'm just not sure Jimmy Haslam's ready to do that.
Yeah, it's a good point. I think it's time to blow up the analytics department as the lead, It hasn't been very successful.
I agree. So I couldn't agree with you more.
I think
it's been a disaster.
I think you need to get football guys, so to say. I don't know if that's the answer. I doubt if Dorsey would want to bring him back. I don't know if Jon Gruden's the answer. But if you're going to make a change, I really agree that you need to have that worked out in advance and not just fire somebody for the sake of firing them and hoping for the best. That's what we've seen for so many times. And I think that's why, one of the reasons why I think Jimmy Haslam's been so patient, as the season plays out, they don't make moves at midseason very often. They did with Hugh Jackson. Doesn't usually work out that great. It did that year when Greg Williams turned the same roster into a winning record, but then they kind of did nothing when they changed it again in the offseason. So I just feel like you have to have a plan and you have to have that lined up ahead of time. I think analytics is important, but I don't think that should be the driver of your organization. It could be a percentage of it, but not totally. That's just my opinion. So I don't know what they'll do. I think they'll wait at the end of the season. There's a lot of answers that we still don't know, like really who made the move on the Watson thing, which is really a big part of why the Browns are where they're at, because you can go down a lot of different ways with it. But as far as, I don't know, but I would like to see if they do make a change, an experienced general manager paired with an experienced head coach, or if you keep the general manager because he made good moves last year in the draft, apparently, then you pair him with a coach, that they can work together like a Jim Schwartz or somebody else, that they can hit the ground running. You got a pretty good defense. You just need to get the offense right, and that's what Stefanski's supposed to be in charge of, is the offense. We just haven't seen anything on the offensive side. That's the reason they're 2-6.
Yeah, and it's regressed is the other thing. But again, it makes no sense to fire Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski and keep Paul DePodesta in the analytics mode. The analytics mode is one of the reasons you're where you're at. It ain't working.
Yeah, I mean, for as long as he's there, I don't know what the record is, but it's produced 2 playoff games, or, I guess 3 playoff games, 1 win, 2 losses. So, who knows what'll happen. That's why I think these next 9 games are important. You want to be playing, even if you don't make the playoffs, you want to be playing your best football in the second half towards the end, so you have something to hang your head on and feel like, okay, I can see where this team is heading. Are they heading in the right direction with a couple more pieces on offense? But I think we all agree with top-end quarterback play, and a good defense, I think you can be competitive. with as bad as they've been, you're only 3 games. You were 2 games back at the bye in this division, and you played bad. Really, you should have won 2 more games. If you would have won those 2 games you gave away, you'd really be right there. So even though we can see a lot of flaws, there's a lot to build on defense. You got to get the corrections on offense so you can get back into the game. And it starts, I think, at quarterback. You got to find out if you have one or neither of these rookies can play. And then what do you do?